Greetings. This morning I want to speak to you concerning how to seek the being instead of the getting. And I will explain to you what I really mean by that and what really inspired me to speak to you on this topic this morning. Like, for example, while I was driving, I was pointing out to my wife how so many people have gathered with their children this particular morning because of something that was set up many years ago by the colonizers in terms of the educational system that they would have set up. And they used to call it the common entrance. Is where the children are now leaving the primary school, which is a indoctrination center, which they take us as little children and they indoctrinate us to think and act and believe a certain way. Okay? And so the colonizers who colonized this island and the many other islands, they set up what was first known as higher learning. And this higher learning was to make you more of an obedient slave. Okay? It is where they convince you that your life is based on the getting. So you are encouraged to go to school and get good grades and then go get a certain job. But little do you know that they're preparing you for the field. Okay, they are basically preparing you for the plantation, because there's a systematic form of slavery that is still going on. And so all these parents, they gather with their children this morning because they are passing down the same thing that was passed down to them and these children. And these children do not know that they are being kept in a limited mindset. And they've been taught about going after the getting instead of the being. So we were never really taught to search to know who we are first. But instead, they make us believe that when we go to school and we get good grades, that we would become more progressive and better citizens, when in truth and in fact you become more of a better obedient slave. Okay? And I'm saying all of this just to say that there is greatness within you. And you're born in this world already being intelligent and already being rich. And I'm going to explain that to you. Okay? And you can challenge me on that. Okay? Now, you're born in this world with your will. You're born with your perception. And let me go straight to the will to explain something for you. And just take a look at a egg. Okay? What intelligence tells the chicken to pick its way out of the egg? Well, that's the same intelligence that tells you after 9 months that you're ready. And you give your mother the indication and she starts to feel birth pain. It was you doing that. So you're born here with your will, your perception, your reasoning, your memory, your intuition, and above all, and this is what I want you to get, your imagination. And that's what they're robbing you from, you know. Because you see, as a little child, when you're growing up, you're using your imagination for everything. But when you enter the school system, you stop using your imagination and you enter into a wall of competition. Because there are people telling you this one is bright and this one is dunce. And they're telling you what to think. They're not teaching you how to think. And so, if I was to go back to my own indoctrination that they give me, they tell me so much thing about the country where I born and grew up and so on, and it was all a lie by the oppressors and Europeans who came and colonized the people and also colonized their mind by setting up these systems to rob you from your higher self, to rob you from knowing how powerful you are. In other words, how powerful your mind is. Okay? Because what they do, they make sure they implement the religious system in the school system. So every morning you have to say praise to an idol outside of yourself. Okay, and in the afternoon you have to do the same thing, and in the evening you have to do the same thing, and your parents who are already brainwashed, in the night too, they make you go on your knees and speak to some entity outside of yourself. And those who colonize the people, they paint the image of a God that looks like them instead of looking like you. So throughout the entire earth, this entire planet, there's only one race of people that have a God that doesn't look like them. And it's melanated people. Black people worshiping the white people in the name of Jesus and don't even know it. And people in my country, they will call me stupid, crazy. They do all of these things because I'm thinking outside of the box, okay? And you can't really help them because what happened, they don't realize that from the time you're born from your mother's womb to the age of 7 or 8, your subconscious mind is wide open for programming. It's called your formative years. So just like you have a computer and it have a format, you can format it and put whatever program you want. It's the same thing, you can program your child. So you will find most of these people who I was speaking about earlier, they dress up, they're going to their 9-to-5 jobs and so on. So they're going to teach their children to be the same. So the poor will always teach their children to be poor, the middle class will teach their children to be middle class, and the rich will teach their children to be rich. So I was drawing a conclusion, I was drawing a reference, I should say, right, to my wife. I was saying to her, and I was calling certain people who have big established businesses in this country, okay, and if you really chase their lineage, you see it come back from the slave masters and so on, right? They teach their children certain secrets and they keep these secrets and so on. Okay, so the system continues. So I was showing her, these people don't send their children to school and tell them go and get good grades, and they don't behave like that over this common entrance which they call in CPEA now, right? They don't do that. So I was showing her, look, such and such a person, right? They get accepted to the board to be a lawyer, but they don't practice because they have the business, they're studying the business, which means that these things are second class things which people put on a pedestal and think these are high jobs. But people who understand the power of selling and who understand, money as energy and so on, and they understand they have an energetic feel and so on, they have, better things to offer to the children or to tell the children. Okay, so I use another business person who big in this country, children as an example. So I was telling my wife, do you think they went to grammar school or girls high school, or their parents was telling them they have to go there to prove something to society? No, they have the big established business already. So I'm saying of this to show you, right, that when you teach your children to go after the getting in terms of seeking to know who they are first, and they discover that their real identity is their divinity, they wouldn't hold on to all of the limiting beliefs and all of the bullshit that society is offering you to believe. So I'm saying, money was for us a thought, it was for us an idea, it was for us imagine. So it is second class to something. What is that something? It's your energy. You are a living, flowing, walking signal station. You are energetic and you are magnetic in nature. So you can attract anything that you want to attract in your life if you understand energy, vibration, and frequency. You see, your thoughts, they are vibrational frequency. And your existence itself, which you call life, it's energy. And energy cannot be created or destroyed, but it can be transmuted. So you are transmuting your energy into your reality, but most people don't know that. Because they won't never thought that thoughts become things. As a matter of fact, you won't never given any financial education in school. Because how someone could teach you in school to do accounts and they're not an accountant. They work it for a monthly salary. And, I could go on and on with this whole talk, right? For example, just last night I was looking at how much people normally make a year, like in my country. Most people in my country don't make $36,000 a year, which means they don't make $3,000 a year. Okay? And $36,000 is something you can make in a day. But You see, many people never stop and think about these things. The reason why they keep you so busy going after the getting instead of the being. So my brother and my sisters, that's what I really want you to take away from what I am saying in this video. Seek after the getting. Seek to know who you are. And when you seek to know more about who you are, you will realize that self-knowledge is power. That's why they don't want you to know more about yourself. And that's why they give you a God outside of yourself. So they have you looking in the sky for a daddy, a sky daddy, for someone to come and save you. Okay? You know, as I said, you know, I can go on and on because it's like right now I just want to talk about, you know, 2020 to 2022 with the big pandemic where all of these same people who had loans and mortgages with the bank and credit union was praying to Jesus like if some freaking man was going to come from the sky to save them from the loans and the mortgages, when the very book that they're reading says that the rich ruleth over the poor and that the borrower is a slave to the lender. And the same book that they're reading tells you that whenever you decide to remain a slave to your slave master, there's a certain thing you used to do as a sign, and that used to be a piercing on your body. You used to take your hair to the door, to the doorpost to be pierced by an awl. That is showing you about the inoculation that people was taking in 2020 to 2022. Allowing a poison, an experimental thing to go into their body. And these are the same people telling you, oh, your body is the temple of God. Don't smoke, don't drink, don't commit fornication and adultery. And they're committing financial fornication and adultery with the credit union and the banks. I could go on and on and on and on and on. So my brother, my sister, if you're listening to me, I'm saying seek after the being. Seek to know who you are first instead of the getting. Okay? Because when you really know who you are and how powerful you are, you'll realize that you have in you a power and you could use that power to achieve your every desire. Okay, so if these things I'm saying, if they resonate with you and you like to go deeper down the rabbit hole, you can check out my books. They're all available on Amazon. Also, you can book a one-on-one with me, okay, and we can go deeper down the rabbit hole. There's an app down below. Check it out. You see that app whereby you can book me on that particular app. You can send me an email and we can arrange a one-on-one, whether you want to do it on Zoom, you want to do it through WhatsApp call, we can book that one-on-one. Also, if you like to become a part of my Patreon community, you're most welcome. And I have a course there for people who are donating $20 or more. It's called the Inner Sun Science and Technology to Create Your Reality Consciously. And along with that is a bonus course on self-concept. Okay? So with the Inner Sun Science and Technology courses, where I'm teaching you that the sun, as in the SUN that is shining in the sky, it parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there's no life and there's no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. So when I show you how these things work together and so on, you'll learn how to use your mind power to achieve your every desire. So my last encouragement to you is to make sure that you check out all of the links that are down below and let your intuition definitely lead you and guide you into what to do. So with that being said, I just want to say peace. Love you all. I'm out.